Hood Gamer Djinn Candor. We're here, here in the den of the Djinn. Ladies and gents, we're here having a little fun. Well, that and, before I go any further, please do me a favor. Do me a ginormous favor. Like, subscribe, comment down below. And of course, hit that little bell icon to know when I'm putting out next vid, so I know I have you guys' attention. Anyway, we're going to be putting out a bit of a PSA, small one. Mind you, this is going to be a very short video, 10 minutes at bare minimum. Any longer, and then I'd go nuts. Anyway, so there's two things that I wanted to talk about. One of the biggest things is schools. I've heard horror stories about certain schools doing truancy, right? Do you guys, if you guys don't know, understand what truancy is, it's basically keeping kids in school. In a sense, it's good. It is good. But the problem is, as long as the child is, how can I say, sick, if the child is sick and there is legitimate justification for the child being sick, being, strep throat, for whatever reason, ladies and gentlemen, truancy should allow this. Mind you, of course, there has to be paperwork. That way things don't go too far, because humanity has a very bad tendency. A lot of people do have a tendency to basically lie their ass clean off. Well, yes, but you got to understand, that's why I put the concept of paperwork in most circumstances. Mind you, it doesn't always have to end up you having to use paperwork, because it's not always the case. There has to be like a case to case concept. Yes, folks, there's a backlog, but that's kind of the that's kind of the concept of the beast. You guys have to understand that not all the time humanity is lying, and not all the time they're always telling the truth. There always is a well, thank you for checking out my videos. I'm talking about accountability, ladies and gentlemen. I'm talking about accountability. Have you ever seen situations where kids are denied certain things like accommodations, um, all those things, because teachers and or schools think that the kids are either lying or just want to getting out of things. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, there are cases that kids do that or the parents do that, but ladies and gentlemen, that's always don't always assume that child is lying. Don't always assume the parent's lying. It's always better to do. Thank you very much, guys. Love you guys all. Yeah, and mind you, that is the first step of our society, where the school system is garbage, where everything else is going to start getting garbage to the point where all of a sudden we're in literally our entire society is a giant dung heap. Seriously, our entire system is dung heap, and we started off by teaching our kids that it's okay to treat people this way. That's why I'm saying, guys, we need to start our society, our entire process, our entire, excuse me, education, all that, right? Thank you. I appreciate that. What was your name? Zell. I'm gonna call you Zell. Zul. Thank you very much for that, and thank you very much, uh, Bendy. Thank you very much for all that. And because, and you're right, you're absolutely 100% correct. They treat the kids as if they're prisoners, and anybody in there that is watching this that is a prisoner, I'm pretty sure you understand as much as anybody. Like kids being treated like prisoners, they are treated like basically they don't have any rights. And yeah, I get it. But going to school, guys, going to school is where you go to learn about your rights, your ability, your how to grow up. But the problem is, if the society is toxic, where we grow up saying that our entire lives that you don't have any rights, and the people that have the rights, like the principal, this superintendent. I've heard so many horror stories. Last one horror story was about a girl. Um, she was super sick and she was convulsing. She was like super convulsing because apparently something in her system was, and she had to go to her locker to get her medication. Mind you, I get why she didn't take the medication into the school because it was she didn't truly need it, but for accommodations, guys, things like medications and things like that, it should be reasonable where the teacher should know, hey, are you okay? Or someone had diabetes and they pull out a fucking EpiPen and right, give themselves a poke. Ladies and gentlemen, that is for their health. The fact that there's so many stories where I'm hearing about families almost losing their kids because administrators cannot get it to fucking together. Administrators saying, "Oh, this person is taking advantage. They're not. They're okay." I've heard a horror story where a kindergartner almost died of anaphylactic shock, ladies and gentlemen, because a teacher said, "Well, no, no." By the way, I'm making this point here because I love peanuts. I love peanuts, right? Thank the gods I can eat them. I'm thanking the gods on high that I can eat peanuts. And imagine this. Imagine I'm eating a peanut and I didn't know I was allergic, right? Right? He's doing this, right? Right? He's doing that, right? Well, guess what? Someone, someone, one of the teachers basically said, "Oh, quit! You're lying. I know you're lying. Quit it." I said, "Quit it!" Boom! Right? Kicks him, something like that, right? All of a sudden, she basically gets tackled to the floor by one of the students, and the other students call the administration. The administration basically tried to expel the one in trouble and the one tackling the teacher. They find out later that they got the whole administration got kickbacks, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, folks, kickbacks. Don't ask me how. Full on, full on agree with you, Zoom. It's some bullshit. I'm hearing some of these stories, and I'm like, what the fuck? It's like, whoa, wait a minute. You're telling me that you are so far behind everyone else, thinking that, oh well, allergies don't exist. Pardon me. Look, don't get me wrong. I understand their thought process that at one point allergies didn't happen. Well, here's the thing. What makes you think it didn't happen? And here's my theory, folks. Here's my theory. They were always around, but the reason why they've become so prominent, ladies and gentlemen. Be safe. Take care. Anyway, like I was saying, the reason why, and this is my personal theory, the reason why we had so many, especially over the last 20, 30 years, people getting sicker and sicker, having allergies more often. Well, here's the thing though. They've always had them, but now because of everything going down, the pandemic, um, a lot of scared, a lot of health scares. There's a reason why a lot of people are coming out now with their sickness. Want to know why, guys? It's finally got to the point where, hey, I gotta tell people that I'm sick. It sucks that I gotta tell people that I'm sick, but if I don't, some schnook is gonna try to get me killed one of these days, and that is sad that I have to say that. It's sad that a little I can't take little Susie, little Jimmy to daycare and 100% trust these daycare people with my kid if they had an allergy or something, because one teacher, I'm always afraid that one of the teachers or one of the daycare people are be like, my little Susie is there convulsing or whatever, and it's like, oh, walk it off. The fuck? Walk it off. Teacher, he's convulsing. He's foaming at the mouth. He can't breathe. Oh, he's just faking it. Ladies and gentlemen, if that's the kind of people in our society or in our school systems, we really need to vent them better. And a lot of people are like, well, they have tenure. We need to get rid of tenure. That's another, and I've said this in another video. We need to get rid of tenure. Yes, folks, I am angry because I've heard so many of these goddamn stories where kids are put in danger because of administrators and teachers, police officers, whoever is in charge. They always assume they're correct, even though they put people in danger. Why? Because their ego just won't handle it. They won't handle it that they're wrong. And then the very end of the story, and mind you, the story that I was talking about, the little girl convulsing, whatever. Good news is, according to the story, got to the hospital in time, no problems, and they did sue the teacher and the administration. Turns out the administration has been ignoring this kind of thing for years because it looked really bad. It looked bad for their attendance. Yes, folks, I'm not bullshitting. The attendance is the only thing that they were caring about. Why the fuck would we trust administrators with that kind of mentality? That they cared more about the numbers and in school than the people they're teaching. That just basically says to me that they don't give two shits about the kids. They just care about the fact that your kid is in that seat. They don't give two shits about our education. If they did, one, they teach us they teach us how to make the society better, but they don't. They teach us the most mundane bullshit because they're trying to keep us down. Yes, folks, it sounds like a really bad conspiracy theory, but am I wrong? Tell me. Tell me, some of you guys in high school, I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys in high school are upset with calculus. $10 says that some of the teachers are told not to teach you certain things in history. You want to know why? Because it's super inconvenient. It's super inconvenient for not only us as the United States, but policy in general. That's okay. I got you. Anyway, I was that this video is going to be a little longer than I thought, but thank you guys so much. And since if you would do me a favor, like, subscribe, comment down below, and hit that little bell icon. Know when I'm putting out the next vid. Don't worry, there will be more. I will be putting out another video a little later, I promise. It's going to be a game video, and I don't know which game right now. I'm actually looking at looking at a few right now. So if you guys see a game video, don't knock it. Do try it. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. This is your friendly neighborhood gamer Djinn Candor, wishing you love, luck, happiness, and plenty of magic as you exit the den of the Djinn.